Hello. I am coming to you at nighttime today. I was just waiting for my friend to pick me up and I was just reading on my couch and I felt like doing a little chit chat because I'm gonna be really boring for the next 5 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah, I think 3 weeks actually, maybe 4. Anyway, for the next month, because school's coming to an end, I am wrapping my life up in my college town and moving back to Vancouver. So that means packing up my entire apartment and just starting life again in Vancouver, which I'm really, really excited about. Also, the annoyance of moving is not super exciting and fun to look forward to, but it's like an inevitable side effect, obviously. So that's, I guess, a big life update is I'm moving back to Vancouver and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be really good for me. And so that's that. I will be working a research legal job this summer, which I am also so giddy about. It's really what I wanted. And I just didn't really anticipate that I would have a legal job, honestly, because it was kind of difficult. There were a lot of rejections. So just getting this and that being in the niche area of law that I'm really interested in is just so awesome. And I'm just so excited and hopefully I can share a bit of that down the line. But yeah, just a lot my cat just finished having his dinner and now he's gonna beg me to feed him some more. So if you hear that he's fine. He's been fed. He lives a good life. Although you might hear his cries of desperation. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I've got my job lined up. I have got my move lined up. I've got to study for finals now, which is why I don't think that I'm going to be probably making another video, but I still wanted to just do one when I felt the urge and desire to talk to all of you, and that was right now. So anyway, that's what's been going on, or sort of, I guess, on the horizon rather. I did finish, where is it? Alphabetical Diaries, and it was the perfect book at the perfect time, like I had anticipated. It's really nice to know, which not that it happens all the time, but it's really nice when you know what kind of book you're in the mood for and what would fit so perfectly in that moment that you're in time. And I knew that this would be so perfect for the honestly week and a bit that it took me to finish this. I was just so enthralled and just looked forward to reading this every night. So it was an easy thing to get through and exactly what I needed. Like I said, Sheila's just very funny and so interesting, and I just love what she did with such constraints, coming up with such a fun story to read based on her lived experiences and real people in her life, but what sort of shuffling around the pieces will inevitably construct a very different picture than how these words and sentiments were arranged at the time in which they were written. I realize that's a pattern in her work. She almost constrains herself, similar to motherhood. It was all a coin toss, and what she can create and bring to life in these particular circumstances that she sets for herself is really interesting and really creative and subversive. So anyway, I really, really enjoyed this. I'm just a huge fan of Sheila Heti, and I'm gonna now watch a lot more of her interviews, because what started this whole thing was Jalen's podcast interviewing her, and that was just so insightful. And she, I don't know, just added, and I said this in my previous blog, but it was just interesting when the character's personality comes to light, and that obviously imbues the way that then you engage with their work. So because I had listened to that interview before I read this, it was just an interesting reading experience, and I wonder what it would have been like if I had no idea, or the thought of Sheila Heti was elusive in my mind based on just what I myself had constructed. I wonder if that would have changed the reading experience, which I'm sure it would have. Anyways, now I'm rambling, but all of this to say, I just really admire her work, and this was totally worth the $30+ I spent on this hardcover. However, I will not encourage you to do the same, because I think this is for a niche audience. So maybe read a page or two and see what you're getting yourself into before you invest merely on my review. I'm always wary of that. Shit, I hope whoever is out there and decides to listen to me, rando stranger on the internet, recommend a book. I hope for the most part, like I steer you in the right direction, but in that same vein, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Obviously, I don't have to say this, but that's like my fear internally is like, oh my God, people are probably buying books out there and being like, this is horrible. What was that rando chick talking about? Like, ugh. But that's also like the fun of this whole thing, right? Just like how subjective our tastes are and the discourse around things that we consume, whether it's good or bad or in between. So yeah, sorry, I just knocked my ring on the table. So yeah, that is what I finished. And then weirdly enough, as I was reading that, Adrienne Rich came to mind and I really wanted to read her work. I had read what is found here over the summer and I was really inspired. Came to her through Audre Lorde's Sister Outsider because they were contemporaries and friends at the time in which they were writing. And alongside this, I had read poetry. Crap, I have it on my couch, but I can't see. Anyways, I'll insert a picture here of what I'm reading now. But I bought this book in conjunction with the book that I'm reading now, I believe last summer. And I'm really enjoying it. It really takes me back to my like gender studies days in my undergrad. And I actually started to remember some of the essays that are in that collection as essays that I had first encountered in my first year of undergraduate studies, and my mind just being like, whoa, which is like the greatest feeling, particularly when you're reading like nonfiction and like essays. Like that's always the feeling that I'm searching for, is expanding my consciousness and just being like, oh my God, so taken with the way somebody thinks or reframes something that I've thought about before, or something that I just like have not ever thought about before. And yeah, having my mind just expanded, like Sister Outsider, like I've gushed about now for like almost a year. So anyway, I'm really enjoying that. And it's been a really nice little ritual every morning just to read either a whole essay if it's short or like part of one. So yeah, it's a nice way to start my day. Boo boo. Since I've been on a nonfiction kick, I say as I've just read one and I'm halfway through Adrienne Rich, I went to the library. One of these, so I've got The Right to Sex, which I've talked about and a lot of my friends have read and really loved. So I got this, and also The Lonely City by Olivia Lang, Adventures in the Art of Being Alone, because I love being alone. In fact, I live alone. I thrive in solitude. Yes, I am a hermit, despite me going out tonight. I just really enjoy keeping myself to myself, I say as I'm like broadcasting my thoughts on the internet. But anyway, yeah, Olivia Lang wrote Funny Weather, and I absolutely loved that book. Thanks to that book, I now love Allie Smith. So all this to say, I am really looking forward to reading both of these, although I don't know if I will realistically get to them, but I just wanted to take myself to the library, and it's really lovely. I think I've said this before, but the library here is so lovely, and they've got a cafe inside, so I just went and I just wanted an excuse to peruse the shelves, and I got myself a little latte and I sat down and read. I actually did not read this. I read Adrienne Rich. Yeah, that's all actually, no, that's not true. I did actually purchase 2 books. I went down to Vancouver for my birthday, March 8th, or the weekend of March 8th. And I bought Dog Days of Summer because immediately Renee's review came to the forefront, and a few other of my friends have read it as well, but Renee's was the most prominent, and I was like, yes, I'm going to buy this. And it was like $9, and it's a perfect, like, cute little size too. I didn't bring it with me because I thought, like, what's the point? And then I also bought another Allie Smith, and I have this like nice rapport with the owner of the bookstore because I bought How to Be Both at his bookstore, and he said that as well as Artful were his 2 favorites. And I was like, oh my goodness, Artful was the first Allie Smith that I read and totally fell in love. I came back this time around and I bought the 3rd Allie Smith, and I told him that I had read that I had read How to Be Both, and was so taken by it. And anyways, we had a nice moment. That's the nice thing about going to bookstores, is just like having that really lovely, not that it happens like at every bookstore, but that's always what you like hope for, right? Is to engage in some lovely talk about a book that you both love or share in common. And it's just like a nice moment that I kind of miss as a bookseller from time to time. So yeah, sorry for the ramble, but this was, I guess, the intention of a chit chat. Another thing too that I was thinking about as I was talking to my little cousin is how to not hate reading, especially if it's not something that you grew up with. It's not a habit that you've like that was like inculcated at a young age, or that you've like kept up with throughout the years. And should that be something that you want to incorporate more meaningfully into your life, I say that obviously like pick a book that you are drawn to and try and hush the voices in your, or other people's voices in your head from your little voice, so that you can pick a book that you might actually like, and not just because everyone else and their mother has liked a specific book. So yeah, I would say go to the library, hear and be in tune with what it is that you yourself want to read, and not what's like cool or what everyone's reading or like whatever. And yeah, have a nice little like routine. And if you're not a routine person, then dismiss this entirely. But for me, I really enjoy looking forward to my, like, I don't know, sometimes it's like 10 minutes, other times it's like half an hour of reading in the morning with my tea. Or if like you're a night person, then like having that little bit of time before going to sleep, and having that be like a no phones, just vibes, aka you and your book. Boo boo. Yeah, it's just nice to incorporate that and actually make time in your day to do that thing, and just be consistent with it if you can. All these things sound so freaking obvious, so please just turn this video off if like obviously all these things are known to you. But I feel like, at least in my cousin's experience, like reading was always associated with a task or a chore imposed on them by school, and it was typically like a very strict list of titles that you could pick from, and that was like their introduction to reading and like their association. So doing it like for pleasure is just like a foreign thing. Mind you, like they're obviously younger than me, but I feel like this can resonate with how it doesn't matter really your age. But yeah, so just see what you like. If that's like Colleen Hoover, awesome. If it's like murder mysteries, great. If it's like DWM vibes and like, you know, pretentious writing, awesome. Like whatever it is, I think if it brings you joy and you find I mean, this is like optimal scenario, but if you find like a community of people that you can talk about what you're reading with and engage in that way, 10 out of 10 would recommend it. So like join a book club, or, you know, start filming yourself at home when you're on your own and talking to a screen. Whatever it might be, it's just really nice to have that like back and forth, whether it's like virtually or like in person. I've mentioned her and she seems elusive to all of you, but my dear friend Eva is somebody that exists in the flesh who has very similar taste in books with me. And like the way that our friendship started was literally just like exchanging books back and forth. And it's really lovely. So yeah, sorry, that was such a obvious list of things that you can do to not hate reading, but I again just thinking about that, and hopefully getting more people to just read, because it's so wonderful. Like not only is it like an escapist thing for me, especially now with school, but also such an educational and like, it sounds so cringe, but like transformative thing that we can all access. Yeah, it just brings a lot of joy to my life, along with all the beautiful people that have come because of it. And now I have like a book club with like Pato and 2 other people where we literally just talk about the book for like 5 minutes, and then we just get to hang out because, you know, you meet so many amazing people because of this. So yeah, wow. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Apologies if this was a ramble. You learned something, you did not learn something new. But hopefully you will consider some of these books and perhaps you know what you think of them. And yeah, I hope you're all having a really lovely weekend or week. I don't know when I'm going to post this, or if I'm going to post it at all. But yeah, we'll talk soon. And yeah, sending you all a big hug from my end. Bye.